Hi, my name is Mark, and in this video I'm going to show you just one of the many possible ways you can print your own mailing boxes and mailing tubes. Why would somebody want to print their own mailing boxes and mailing tubes? Well, it's a lot of fun. Plus, I feel like the products that go inside these boxes are artwork, so I should put artwork on the outside, and my customers really seem to enjoy it. A lot of different options. First thing that comes to mind is silkscreen. These are kind of awkward shapes to do a silkscreen with. Plus, silkscreen has some complicated processes and expensive equipment and that kind of thing. In this case, I went with a block print. It's simple. Everybody knows how to do a block print in kindergarten. They give you a potato, you carve a shape in it, stick it in some ink, and voila, you have a block print. And it's not much different here. And I'm going to show you how to do it. The materials are pretty simple and inexpensive. Obviously, you need a block. We'll discuss that a little later. I like to use these small paint rollers with the disposable sponge pads, and the disposable linings makes cleanup a lot faster. In this case, I used an inexpensive acrylic paint. The cleanup's quick, soap and water. It doesn't cost much. It dries really fast. The actual printing is pretty simple, not much different than the potato example. Just put a thin layer of ink on each of the different colors that we're using here. In this case, I thought metallic gold would be a good idea. It probably wasn't. The teal and the purple look good. Once you get your ink on, then you need to line up your box. In this case, I used some steel pins to do the alignment. Worked really well. To press it down, it would be kind of nice to have a press or maybe even a roller, but just sliding over it with your hands worked okay for this. The print's not perfect. You're going to have little defects, but that's part of the charm. On this printing, I printed 50 boxes on the one side. By the time it was time to do the second side, the first side was dry. I changed up the colors a little bit. I added some red to the gold to give it a little more body. Tried to keep the alignment consistent with the two different logos that I was printing. The ink was plenty dry by the time I got to the second side. So now there you have it. 4 sides printed, multiple colors, multiple images. Pretty nifty. The cleanup's really quick. All you got to do is throw the sponges and the liners away. Wash off the block with some water. And now let's talk about how we make the block. One option would be to start with your logo, bring it into a 3D program, extrude it, reverse it, and then take some TPU plastic, which is a flexible plastic, print it out on a 3D printer. I tried this in various forms. I wasn't too terribly satisfied with it. It doesn't hold the ink quite as well as I'd like. A better way to do it is to use a laser cutter. You start with a black and white image. Don't forget to mirror it, and then also make a negative image because you're going to cut away the part that you don't want to print. And in this case, I needed to size it so that it would wrap around on the tube. Preparing the block is really simple and inexpensive. You just go over to Hobby Lobby and get some 5mm EVA foam. Take a little bit of the casting epoxy, the 2-part polyurethane casting resin. Smear it out over your particle board, or whatever hard surface you want to put your foam onto. It really doesn't matter. Position it as squarely as you can, and then put something to weigh it down. In a few minutes it sets up. It's nice and flat. It's stuck to the board, and you can put it into your laser cutter or however it is that you plan on cutting it. You need to play around with the various power settings and the speed. I find that you definitely don't want to cut the whole 5mm. I would say something between 3 and 4mm deep would be plenty good. Once the engraving's done, then you take a saw and square up the edges, cut away the excess foam, and you're ready to print. In this case, we're going to print it on a tube, so I made these little roller handles that go inside the tube, and then take the same particle board that you're going to use on your foam to make little shoulders so that you can roll the thing over. You might want to use some kind of registration system. In this case, it wasn't that hard to line up, so voila, there you go, a nice cylindrical print.